G'day Reefers, I'm Cam the Fish Guy. Welcome to Gallery Aquatica TV. Today we're back at one of our favourite tanks, Reef Redo. We did a whole series on this tank in which we took out the old tank and replaced it with this amazing system behind me. If you haven't seen it, check it out. But today we're here for an update. We're going to show you exactly how the tank is doing, and we're going to show you what we do for the regular maintenance on this reef system. We'll start by having a look at the fish and the corals and the aquascape in this system, and then we'll run you through the equipment and how it's all going. So starting off with the fish. Now, given the fact that this is quite a tall tank, we've specifically gone for fish that swim mid-water in the tank. We've got zebra gobies and scissor-tail gobies. We've got chromis, dispar anthias, firetail gobies, there's a yellow assessor in there, there's a royal grammer, and lots of little peaceful fish that we know are not going to pick at the corals or really cause any problems with compatibility in the tank. There is one fish that's a little bit different. It's a lipstick tang. It's only a small one at the moment, but it's doing really well, and it's enjoying the fact that it's a quiet tank with lots of fish that swim around happily, and there's really very, very minimal aggression in this tank. The corals that we've gone for, we've got a wide variety of, it's a mixed reef. We've got LPS, soft corals. We've also got some gorgonians. Now, one of the things that we plan to do specifically with this tank was to have corals that grow tall up off the aquascape. Our aquascape goes about halfway up the tank, so the idea of having corals that come up high was really one of the key features of the design of this system, and we're starting to get there. We've got the photosynthetic gorgonians, which are doing really well, enjoying the flow, but certainly we do aim to get more height in the tank. Some of my favorite things in this tank are actually the clams and the cocoa worm, so not exactly corals, but interesting little creatures that are in the tank, and they're also doing very well. This tank gets fed a variety of coral foods, and certainly the filter feeders, such as the clams and the cocoa worms, are doing great. I also like the euphyllias. The Duncanopsamia is doing great. The corallimorphs are good. We've got this red scrolly monty in the center. There's a giardini over on the end. The corals are doing really well in this tank, and it's great to see. So let's have a bit of a look at the filtration before we show you what we do for maintenance on this tank. Our filtration starts with our external overflow in this cupboard section here, draining water down through the plumbing into the right-hand side of our sump. Now, this sump is huge. It's pretty much the same length as the tank. It's quite wide and tall as well. And where our water drains into the sump is where we've got our large octo skimmer, and you can see how much waste it's collecting. It's doing an amazing job. It's also got the sensor in the cup, so we know it can't overskim and cause a flood. Then the water moves across into the middle section, and we've got what is a huge, very powerful refugium style algae scrubber. We've got a prime fuge lighting it up, and it's hard to see without the light on at the moment, but it's absolutely chockers full of keto, and so that's keeping our nutrients really low. We've just tested the water chemistry, and we're running it close to 0 phosphate, and we're at 3 ppm of nitrate. The water then moves into this section. You can see we've got our doser feeding into here, hitting the wall. We've got to clean that up there, but we've got our Ecotech L2 feeding the water back up to the tank. So let's have a look at where the lights are and the chiller for this system. Our lighting system is a Giesman hybrid. Now there are 3 LEDs throughout the length of this light, as well as 2 T5s on the front and 2 T5s on the back. It's giving a great spread, and it's a particularly good lighting system for this tank. We don't need to supplement this lighting system with anything else. Now the chiller is around behind the tank. Pantries are one of the best places for chillers. You can see we've got this TK2000. It's running at 23.6 degrees Celsius. We've also got our UV Twist 57 watt, which is running on the same line as the chiller. So let's get into the maintenance on this tank. Today we're here to do the monthly maintenance on this system. Now the 3 main aspects of our regular maintenance is, first of all, a water change on the system. We do this depending on the amount of nutrients, as well as the levels of the calcium, KH and magnesium. Sometimes the water change helps to stabilize those. But we mainly do it so that we can take water out to clean the system, so we can siphon out of the sump and also gravel vac the tank. The second aspect is, of course, algae cleaning. Now this tank is pretty good. The owners of this tank really look after it well with the magnet cleaner that's on the tank, so we won't spend much time doing that. But the third part of the regular maintenance is the water testing. Now we have our spin tester here today, and we've tested the water, and these are the results we've got. The ALK is running at 118 ppm. Now that equates to a DKH of 6.6. Our pH is 8, a little bit on the low side. Our phosphate is low. Our calcium is 376, which is a little bit low. Magnesium 1250, also a bit low. No ammonia or nitrite, and the nitrate is 3. Now what this says to me is the important things that I take from this. Our nutrients are relatively low, so I'm happy with that. But more importantly, the calcium, KH and mag are also low. So I've actually already changed the doser. I've increased the doser by around about 10%. So we'll keep an eye on the levels, and next time we'll probably find that they'll be closer to the range that we want. So I'm going to jump in the tank, I'm going to do some cleaning, and we'll do a water change on this system. I'm going to start by cleaning out the protein skimmer, and one thing I love about these is to turn off the pump, you can just turn the cup upside down, and the little sensor cuts the power to the skimmer pump. So that's all I need to do. I'll take out the cup. Whoa. Don't want to drop that, because look at the waste on this. It's probably a bit overdue for a clean, but you can see how much waste these octos pull out. It's quite incredible actually. So I'm going to take this away, give it a bit of a clean, and then I'll come back and I'll clean the top of the cup. These Gallery Aquatica razor holders are the best thing for cleaning inside the sump. You can see we've got coralline and all sorts of algae in here, and this takes it off so easily. I think one of the mistakes that people make with their refugium style algae scrubbers is they don't have the keto grow thick enough. Now you want to have a good quality light, and the Prime Fuge is a great light for this purpose, but you also want to allow the keto to occupy the whole space in your refugium so that it entirely takes up the space and grows really, really thick. And so the way I describe it to people about how I want the keto to grow in their refugium is I basically say to them, you want to be able to put your phone on the keto and not worry about it getting too wet. So here goes. So there you go. Put your phone on the keto and it holds it up there and doesn't get too wet. Oh, shit. Okay, well, it got maybe a bit wetter than I thought it would. But that's how you want your keto to be growing. So I've just turned off the return pump. That's the water siphoning back down the return into the sump. I know it's not going to flood, we've got a huge sump, we've got lots of space, but I've turned everything off so that I can do a bit of a gravel vac. That's our ATO. So I can do a bit of a gravel vac and just remove any detritus that's built up in the system. I don't have my long gravel vac, I don't have my long hose, so this might be a little bit challenging because it's a tall tank and I've got to go over this section here. So I go. This tank is pretty free of problems, and in fact, probably the only two problems that I would say at the moment we've got a few photosynthetic flatworms on this Giardini. Now they're not a big problem, and they certainly don't seem to be affecting the health of the coral. They don't seem to be spreading, but there are treatments, and if it does get worse, then we'll look at putting a treatment in here. The other is the cyanobacteria in this section here around the fungus. Now, I'm putting that down to the flow not really pushing through this area, and I'm probably going to try some different directions or maybe some programs with these guys. Having the twin guys, they're excellent with the number of ways you can change them and modify them so that they do give you really good water flow. So I think I'll be able to fix that, but for now I'm going to siphon out this cyano and finish off the gravel vac. You can see this is the thickest detritus in the substrate, and I definitely think that this is a flow issue, so we should certainly be able to resolve this with the Gaia twin set that we've got. All right, so I've just noticed another problem that needs to be actioned. We've got a huge vermitid on the side of this clam. Now, you can get rid of them with coral cutters. This would be a pretty easy one with coral cutters, but I don't have any coral cutters with me today. So I'm actually going to use our Gallery Aquatica glue and glue this hole shut. So I'll do it out of the tank. I have to be quick. All right. Perfect. Little globular glue on the top. All right, that should do the job. This glue is great for fragging and gluing corals onto rocks, but it's also perfect for this. All right, let's put them back. There you go, we've just done our monthly maintenance on Reef Redo. The water's a little bit cloudy at the moment, but it's going to clear up and it's going to look amazing. It's been around about 18 months since we originally set up Reef Redo, and I'm really happy with the way everything is progressing. It's really gone exactly as I had planned from the very start. So we'll come back for more updates on this amazing system on future episodes of Gallery Aquatica TV. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Cam the Fish Guy. Happy reefing. That's it for this week's episode of Gallery Aquatica TV. Don't forget to like and comment on all our videos and subscribe to our channel. Stay tuned to Gallery Aquatica TV for more exciting episodes to come. I'm Cam the Fish Guy. Happy reefing!